Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be looking at photographing probably one of the most beautiful places I've actually been to, and that is the Matterhorn in Switzerland near Zermatt. And I'll take a look at the area, basically provide you some logistical details here at the beginning, and then we'll look at the different locations. And just so you're aware, this isn't like a completely exhaustive video on all the locations. These are the locations that I went to and then what I found to be useful and the details that I would like to have known before I got there. So let's get started and take a look at this. So the closest town to the Matterhorn that's of any size is Zermatt, which is down here in the southern part of Switzerland on the Italian border. So basically, if you're staying in Zermatt, the mountains south of you are what consist of the border between Switzerland and Italy. To get there, there are a couple different options. In my case, I just drove in from France coming through on the Geneva side, and the roads going through Switzerland and France are all very good. The other options are you could actually take the train in, or you could catch a flight into Zurich or Bern and then take the Swiss trains down to Zermatt. Swiss trains are very, very good. There is a Swiss half-off rail card. If you're going to spend any amount of time in Switzerland and you don't have a car, you're going to be using the public transport, the half-off Swiss rail card is definitely worth your time to go ahead and purchase, worth the money. Now, there are no cars in Zermatt. That's one of the charms of this place, is there's no vehicles really driving around except for a few electric vehicles that are used by like taxi drivers and trash collectors, that sort of thing. So you need to drive into a place called Tash, which is down here, and you park your car. There's a large parking garage in Tash for your car, and you have to pay for it, of course. And you just catch the train out of Tash, and it takes you to the train station in Zermatt. And Zermatt is of a kind of a size where you really don't need a car. You can walk pretty much everywhere. There are taxis that go around town, and there's also a bus. So once you get to Zermatt, then you're going to use the public transport. Basically, there are cable cars and cog trains that go up to the locations that you're going to need to go to be able to photograph the Matterhorn. Now, traveling back and forth on the cog trains and the cable cars, there is a thing called the Peak Pass that they will sell you, which is good on all the cable cars, the buses in town, the cog trains, everything. So you can go up to the Gornergrat or wherever you're heading to, and you just pull your pass out and you use your pass. Now, there's a couple videos, and I'll put links down below for the information on this, but there is another YouTube creator that does a really good video on Swiss travel, and so I'll put their link down below, and they talk about this Zermatt pass that you can use. I just got it because it simplifies my travel and I don't have to worry about it. I know I'm going to spend like 216 Swiss francs on that, and then I'm not going to, I can go up and down as many times as I want. If you're not staying more than 3 or 4 days, apparently it may not be your best option. But you really have to decide for yourself. And for me, it was a no-brainer because I don't want to have to worry about buying train tickets and all that kind of stuff. I just buy the pass and go. Now, the first place we're going to look at visiting is a place called Schwarzsee. And you're sitting kind of on the ridge line where the Matterhorn runs up to. You're still a ways away from it, but there are some good photo opportunities here. And there's also a hotel located here. So if you wanted to get up early in the morning and get one of those sunrise pictures, or stay late and get a sunset picture after the cable cars stop running, this is a good location for you. You can see the clouds on the mountains. This mountain will teach you a lot of patience. There will be clouds there, and you might wait for hours for them to clear to actually be able to get a picture. Now, the next location that we'll visit is a place called Trockener Steg. And I'm sorry, I apologize. I know I'm not pronouncing these names correctly. The only thing worse than my German is my Swiss German. But at Trockener Steg, you'll get off and you will see a lake down below. And that is an excellent location for photography. I'm going to put a little plug in for my channel here. If you like what you're seeing, please give me a like below. And if you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. That'll help my channel out a lot. Now, as you can see on my hike down from the restaurant and the train station that's here, or the cable car station, it is clear out. Little did I know that there was a cloud, or a range of clouds that were pushing up on the right-hand side. And by the time I got down to the bottom, I would be in the middle of a cloud and barely able to see the mountain. I mean, when I turn around here, I can see the top of the mountain, but no longer the base. And you can see the lake down there. I can't see across the lake anymore. And it just got continually worse and worse. What I ended up doing is I sat here for about 3 hours and it finally cleared. And basically what I did is I did a little bit of macro photography because there are some beautiful wildflowers that are growing around this area. My wait eventually paid off. It cleared. Actually, I turned around and I started walking back up and it cleared out. And so I headed back down and got some really good pictures in this area. The lake works really well for reflections off the Matterhorn. So just a tip, whenever you're up here photographing, I typically will shoot a bracket of 5 images and have them sit 1 f-stop apart. Didn't really have to do it for these particular images, even though I still did it anyway, because you just can't, you don't want to take a chance on your basically the dynamic range outstripping what your camera is capable of. So with that though, I'll shoot 5 images 1 f-stop apart, and like on these, I think I just use those images. But if you have, if your exposure is not correct, you can choose an image that has exposure correct. Or if you have a high dynamic range situation, you can use HDR and stack these in an HDR stack and then get your, full exposure out correctly. So that's just a hint here for you. Now, when I traveled up to this location, we traveled up early in the morning, first cable car up, so that the water would be nice and smooth. There's no wind or whatever, and so you want that water nice and smooth so you can get kind of a good reflection of whatever you're photographing, in this case the Matterhorn, but just so there's no wind on the water and it's kind of like a piece of glass. Now from Trockener Steg, you can take the cable car on up to the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise. Spectacular ride up on that cable car, definitely worth the trip up. So this is actually video coming back down off of Matterhorn Glacier Paradise. You come out of basically the top of the mountain. This is 15,000 feet, 4,000 meters. And you're just coming off and it's a drop. And if you see here in just a second, it's a long ways down and you are literally on top of the world up here. It is, you're up so high you can see everything. So there's the Matterhorn off on the left. They do year-round skiing up here. There is always snow on the ground, and there's several glaciers around in the area. If you travel up to Glacier Paradise, just be aware. This is a high-altitude location. You're above 4,000 meters up here. The oxygen is very thin, and I came from out in Utah, Idaho. I really struggled up here. I was getting to the point where I was having oxygen deprivation. I felt kind of stupid because there's a lot of kids up there. They go up there skiing. They're used to this altitude. I was not used to this altitude. This is up high. So just be aware. If you get up there, you might feel ill or, have issues moving around or exerting yourself. So just be aware of that and plan ahead. Now, it is tempting to try to photograph these mountains outside of the cable car. The particular cable cars that go up to the Glacier Paradise, I don't remember them having windows you could open. And as you can see, the glass is a little bit scratched up, a little bit dirty. It really, I've tried it. It doesn't really work out like you hope it's going to work out. You're in a moving cable car and you can see the cable car that's going up has lines in front of you. So, but you can try it. But like I said, I've really found it to be kind of a challenge. So in this section of video, we're coming back down to Trockener Steg. You can see the lake that we were photographing over off on the left. The cable car station is in front of us, and there's another lake at the base of the cable car station. Lots of lakes in this region to actually go out and photograph from. I just wanted to have you to see what the terrain looks like here coming back into the station. Now our next destination is going to be Riffelberg. It's on the way up to the Gornergrat. There are some spectacular views up here, and so basically how you get up here is you're going to take the cable car, not the cable car, but the cog train out of Zermatt, which is basically you catch that directly across from the train station in Zermatt, and you're going to ride this train up, and you can actually hike back down from the top. There are a lot of good hiking trails up there, but if you're lazy like me, you just want to take the cog train up and get your pictures. So, but we're going to go up to Riffelberg. Now, Riffelberg has a train station, a restaurant. I believe there's a hotel there and a cable car, and you can see the little church over there. Beautiful views of the Matterhorn coming from this way. There's a lot of wildflowers that grow out here along that stream that you can see there. Just a beautiful location. It's about 2,600 meters up, so really no problem with the altitude here. The hiking isn't, the hiking can be as vertical as you want it, but you can walk around like up to the church and actually even up to the next train station up, and it's not really too difficult of a walk. So, but just a beautiful area here. The hotel here is called the Riffelberg Hotel. It was originally called Ruffel House, which you can see on the picture on the front of the hotel there. It was built in 1855 up here. Riffelberg Chapel, or Brooder Claus, was built up here about the same time, I believe. It's supposed to always be open, but whenever I came up here, I could walk around it, but I couldn't get inside of it. It was locked. It makes a beautiful foreground picture for taking a picture in this location of the Matterhorn. The vivid blue flowers are spring gentians. Keep in mind, if you're doing macro photography of the flowers and plants up in the Alps, that a lot of these species are protected, so just use care whenever you're there. And that picture did not have any saturation in it. They're literally that vivid. So after you get done at this location, you can get back on the Gornergrat train and go up to the next station, or you can hike up to the next station, which is Rotenboden. Just a beautiful area up there, and this is the home of one of the best lakes to take a picture of the Matterhorn from. When you first arrive at the station, to get to the lakes, you just go straight off the train platform, head straight. You'll see a gate, go through the gate, walk down the trail and hook around to the right, and you will walk across the first lake, and then you will come to Riffelsee. This location is very popular with tourists, so you're going to have to plan for that. They will come in waves based on the train schedule. I think whenever I was up here during this time of day, there's a train every 20 minutes. And so basically you just need to be patient. You'll have them come down, they'll kind of congregate. You'll see behind me initially, and then they'll start to walk around the lake for those who are hiking back down. You just time it. If you want people in your picture, then you wait till they're there, and if you don't, then you wait till they disappear and try to get it whenever before the next train comes in. Just a spectacular location, though. Probably one of the best places to photograph the Matterhorn from, just because you've got this crystal clear lake, and also to get that glass effect, remember early in the morning is probably your best bet. It just is a spectacular area, though, for the photography of the Matterhorn. Now, a tip for this location, and really any location that you're photographing reflection in the water, your best bet is to get your camera down as low as possible, and that will give you the maximum reflection of the whatever your subject is in the water. Now, I'd have really loved to have gotten a sunset picture in this area, but the last train goes down at 8 o'clock from the Gornergrat. And sunset's not till 9:30. So if you're going to do that, you're going to want to stay at the Gornergrat or one of the hotels up on the mountain to be able to get a sunset picture. Now our next and final stop on the Gornergrat Bahn cog train is Gornergrat itself. Once again, you can either walk up or take the train up. It's not really too far of a distance, and you can see the building there at the hotel. The hotel is actually the Kulm Hotel Gornergrat. The observatories you see on either end of the building were built there in the 1960s because this was one of the best observing points for astronomy in Europe. So they built, universities built those observatories up there. I don't think they actually use them for research anymore, but there is like a tourist telescope, I believe, in the South Tower. Of special note is the salt lick next to the hotel. There's a lot of ibex in this area, and they come up here in the evening, so you're going to want to take one of the last two trains out to be able to see them, and they will be hanging around this salt lick. A good photo opportunity to take pictures of some wildlife here. I was really not prepared for this. I didn't bring a telephoto lens with me. I wasn't expecting to take pictures of wildlife, but I think the best opportunity for that was actually on that walkway down to their right, where you're looking back up at them, where the light's kind of behind you, and you can barely get a good picture, but everybody's different. I'm sure you can find a good spot. And they do kind of hang up on that cliff up there, and they will kind of bed down for the evening, which might provide a good opportunity for a picture. Now, when I came back down the mountain, I actually came back down to Riffelberg here, and there is a cable car that goes from Riffelberg down to Fury, and then you can go back into Zermatt from there, and that just provides you a little different scenery, but it is a good view up and down the valley that Zermatt is in. Now, the final location I'm going to cover is actually Zermatt itself. But I just want to say on the end of this video that there is so much opportunity here for photographers. I mean, depending on what type of photography you do, there is just, you could spend weeks here and just get tons of pictures. So, Zermatt itself is actually a really interesting place. There's just a lot of things to see and do. You're literally surrounded by 20, I think it is, peaks that are over 4,000 meters high. And the town of Zermatt itself is actually quite spectacular.